I know when the people watch this interview, they're all gonna thinking how Ben arranged that book to be the the cup bearer.
He has them with him all the time.
Yeah,
He brings it everywhere.
That's the same cup of coffee that he's had since Monday.
You have these books every day on your life with the cup
on wheels.
This is actually my bedroom behind this big white sheet, and I just arranged it because I wanted it to look professional.
You made an absolutely perfect job, Ben. Muy buenas, nación YouTube, ¿cómo andan? Soy Lucas Baini, esto es cámara en mano. Y dirán, ¿por qué tan elegante, Baini? Porque hoy es un día muy especial, muchacho, muchacha. Hoy es el especial de Sombra y Hueso. En este video van a encontrar una charla con todo el equipo de la nueva serie de Netflix, que es la adaptación de uno de los bestsellers más interesantes en los últimos años, escrito por Leigh Bardugo. Nos va a llevar a un mundo de fantasía con una estética súper increíble, y a partir de hoy van a poder disfrutar esa adaptación en Netflix. Sé que esta serie tiene un fandom súper interesante, muy querible y muy intenso, y me encanta. Así que elegí para este especial dejar todo el contenido disponible para ustedes. Lo que van a ver a continuación es una entrevista con Ben Barnes, Jessie Mei Lee, Archie Renault, Freddie Carter, Amita Soman, Kit Young, la mismísima autora y creadora de esta historia, Leigh Bardugo, y Eric Heisserer, que es el productor ejecutivo y la mente detrás de esta adaptación. Sí, todos y todas ellas están presentes en este especial, en donde vamos a recorrer todo, qué tan cercanos al material original eran, cómo fue la dinámica de trabajo en Budapest, cómo tomó Leigh todos estos cambios que genera la serie respecto a la trilogía original y su continuación, Seis de Cuervos, por qué Ben Barnes es tan encantador como un personaje tan ambiguo como el Darkling, y muchas cosas más. Entre ellas, una historia muy hermosa de Jessie aprendiendo todo un idioma para poder unir de alguna manera a todo el equipo con el elenco. Sin más, los voy a dejar con este especial. Muchísimas gracias. Es bastante largo, así que les recomiendo agarrar su bebida favorita, ponerse cómodos y nada, viajar con este especial que espero llegue hasta la mismísima Ketterdam. Nos vemos después de la entrevista. Quédense hasta el final porque hay una pequeña sorpresa. Y si les gusta el video, les pido por favor que no se vayan sin dejar su like y la suscripción, ya que vamos a tener muchísimas más entrevistas de este tipo. Nos vemos al final de la entrevista y ahora sí, con ustedes todo el equipo de Sombra y Hueso.
Our enemies are threatened by your mere existence.
The whole world will be after you. How much time all you have to play?
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
We all having breakfast here, so it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
That's fine. Yeah, breakfast time.
And super excited to talk with you guys about this adaptation. First of all, how much familiar were you with the source material?
I personally, before I got the audition through, wasn't very aware. I think I'd heard of Shadow and Bone, and I'd heard of Six of Crows, the books, but I hadn't seen them or picked them up. But as soon as I got the job, I was going straight through them all and binged them and loved them and fell in love with them.
It's a lovely world to get into it, right? Which aspects of it did you love the most?
It's such a pleasure when you walk onto a set and it's so incredibly detailed, like the ones were for Shadow and Bone. You know, the level of care and sort of craftsmanship that had gone into making each set, even if we were just there for a day. You know, every drawer was full with trinkets, and all the trinkets had Ravkan writing on, and it's sort of it was really, really incredible. And it takes a lot of the pressure off, because you don't have to imagine what it's like to be walking down a street in Ketterdam, because you are actually walking down a street in Ketterdam with steam rising and rain falling and bustling crowds.
The writing is so good, and everything kind of everything sort of made it that much easier with like the costumes and the set building and just having like Leigh there sometimes and Eric there and being able to go to them and ask anything and they'd give us answers and direct us in the right way.
So yeah, it kind of became very easy, and everyone that I'm acting opposite is so great and believable as well that you just instantly switch on and you're in this fantasy world.
You tune out the lighting stands and the crew.
Yeah.
And you feel like you've just walked off the page of a book into a
Well, that's
the
amazing.
attention to detail was just incredible. You know, in the army camp, all of the tents had like they were completely full of stuff. And you know, I remember one of the bunk beds inside one of the tents had a postcard that was written in Ravkan. And I was like, no one is ever going to see this, but I love that it exists and someone's actually put it there. And it was that's how detailed it was.
That's amazing. And I love the way you react to it. You're kind of a little nerd of this universe. I love it. Nice to meet you, Lee. Eric, congratulations. It's been quite an adaptation, right? Merging these two eras of the universe in the Shadow and Bone, right? You have these two books combined. How did you decide to get that road to adapt this story?
My first thought was to just do both of those books together and ignore the time difference, just because I was so eager to get to the candy that I love in Six of Crows. However, Lee made the very astute and wise point that someone who built this world from the ground up would know immediately, which is you can't establish the rules of magic and then break them at the same time. You need to show the audience what it means to be Grisha. And then once the Darkling is not in the picture anymore, that's when you can bring in Jurda Parem. And she was right. So the next heavy task on me was, what am I going to do with the crows instead? And we had a moment to think about what a prequel story would be, because those characters live in the world at the same time. They're going to be over in Ketterdam. They're going to be doing things. But the question is what? And how is it relevant to the Shadow and Bone side of things? And so I made a crazy pitch over a conference call and worried that I would get fired afterward, but it was the opposite. Thankfully, they were gung-ho.
Lee, how did you receive all this crazy pitch from Eric?
Well, Eric, I was actually on team let's mush the stories together very early on. When Eric and I sat down before I've actually learned recently that he came in pretty hard at Netflix and was like, it's my way or the highway, which only respect for. What he didn't realize was that Netflix didn't own the rights to Six of Crows yet, so it was a little premature, but he and I respect that. I respect that audacity, Eric Heiser. We met up, we talked about it, I loved the idea, but I really didn't know how he was going to pull it off. And it took a little bit of sort of, I suspect a little banging his head against the wall, us having some lively debates about it, but I very clearly remember that call and that pitch. And as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, this is going to work.
From the start, the plan was to keep Lee involved as much as possible. She was a phenomenal partner creatively. Certainly there were disagreements and there were debates, but quite often from those emerged smart ideas that weren't necessarily what either of us expected. And it let us fall in love with the show even more.
We are 2 minutes in this interview, and I already loved you guys and the dynamic of your work here. It's amazing. I saw the first episodes, and I saw you guys doing a lot of different action scenes. You had to learn some different skills for these characters. For example, Kid with the guns, maybe?
We arrived in Budapest and we had almost just under a month before we started shooting. And in that month we had rehearsals and we kind of had fittings and so on, but mainly it was stunt training. We were kind of really put to work immediately as soon as we got there, and it was basically every day actually, and the three of us would go in together and all of us would be using slightly different things. Freddie is working with his kind of sleight of hand and his cane work, and Amita's got her knives and I've got my guns, and it took time to kind of get good at them because it's one of those kind of classic American hero things where the character is the greatest that there ever has been at this one skill. They're not just kind of okay at it, they have to be amazing. And so we definitely had to put our work in, but hopefully by the time that we were actually doing it on camera, we were actually all, I know that these two were fantastic. So hopefully the audience pleased by.
And you've seen the show,
Yeah,
so you
you
know
were-
that Kit is fantastic.
It's
Yes.
fantastic. She's fantastic. All of you are fantastic. You're killing it in the show, and that's one of the aspects that I really envy of you guys. You got the chance to, in one particular month, just be an expert on knives, for example.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was exhilarating. I mean, the previous life experience I had was chopping vegetables, so to kind of use it in this action and momentous way, it was something I'll never forget.
You all film it there in Budapest, right? You all shoot there in Budapest. 6 months of shooting. It was long. How was your life in Budapest? You were living there for half a year.
We ended up having like a real family out there, especially we were all away from home, and for lots of us it was kind of our first big thing, at least. So yeah, we just kind of had a bit of a home away from home, really. We were all together and spending time together every day, which just made the whole experience so nice. And yeah, I love them all. I love you guys.
Oh, we love you. We love you.
Yeah, I think it was I'd done quite a lot of filming in Eastern Europe before, and I was kind of just sort of getting settled, and I thought, do I want to do a half a year, away from home again? And after about 5 days with these people, I was just, I honestly started to get a bit emotional. I was like, I started to feel this is where I belong. I'm supposed I'm supposed to be here. Because it also feels a bit like a summer camp when you first get there, because I was doing my horse riding dates with Jesse, and I was doing my stunt work and fighting with Archie, and you kind of feel like there's a bit of structure for you in place, which keeps it fit from feeling like a totally foreign place.
But you know what, Ben? You should know this. You're not allowed to say these sweet things. You are the bad guy here.
Exactly. He's trying to make up for it.
Yeah.
He's trying to prove he's not a bad guy.
It's hard to hate you.
You know what's really funny is that I really relished playing these like ambiguous characters, but then the more we talked about it afterwards, and even just watching the series, by the time I got to about episode 5, I was like, I don't want people to hate me. I don't want to be a bad guy. Can I just play a nice guy that people are rooting for next season? Because I'm like rooting. I'm like looking at Mal going,
come on,
fight them. And I'm looking at me going, get off, and so I'm like thinking, this must be everyone's experience. I don't want people to react to me like that. So
no, people love a bad
you.
guy.
Absolutely, people loves really good villains. So and it's fun to play one.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
We would both swap with you, I think.
Yeah,
we would both want to play a villain.
If we get another season, can just like one of us go to the dark side at least? Come on.
I don't know if you've noticed, Lucas, but
we've got black on today.
Everybody's wearing black.
Yeah.
Now.
Damn. I should get a black t-shirt right here.
Yeah, come to the dark side.
We're trying to set ourselves up. We're trying to drop a few hints.
Yeah.
Give us your best Darkling turnaround, Archie.
The cast you assemble, guys, is super talented. It's amazing. And I had a chat before in the morning with all of them, and I felt that you were a family right from the start. How was this dynamic in the work with the cast and the crew in Budapest?
It is, as you said, it was immediate. There was a kind of bonding that you can really only dream of in this business. I am fortunate to be married to a TV writer and producer, and I have shadowed her on many a TV show sets, and I have seen sort of the clunkiness of a group that knows that it's there to do a job, but they're clashing personalities, and this was a kind of magic of its own right from the start. Most of it I have to thank Jessie for, because Jessie, all on her own, took everyone under her wing the moment they landed in Budapest, had dinner,
amazing.
Brought them over for board game nights with other cast members. She learned Hungarian on her own just so she could tell jokes with the crew. And that created a kind of real, like, a bond among everybody that was making the show together. that made us feel that we were on the same team, and furthermore, that we were actual friends.
Oh, super sweet. And Lee, let me read a little bit of one of the interviews that you made in 2012 when someone asked you to convince people to give your book a try. This is what you said. Shadow and Bone brings to life a world of saints and samurais, assassins and superstition, dark magic, court intrigue, and romance. Plus, a guy gets cut in half.
That's all still true. All of those things available to you starting April 23rd on Netflix. I am actually feeling very consistent right now. I was like, what wild thing did I say? But it seems that I've been on message from the first.
No, you should be super proud of your archive right now.
Better than me, Lee. Just as like 2.5 years ago, apparently I've had interviews where like, there'll be a musical episode. Like I didn't know that back then.
Maybe we should get a musical.
I mean, have you heard Ben Barnes sing? Have you heard that man's beautiful? And Kit plays the guitar, plays the piano.
Bren, you kind of described the series with the mix of Harry Potter meets Peaky Blinders, and that was so what? But kind of has a sense, right?
Well, I think it's not really a derivative. It feels to me when I watch it, when Netflix hacked into our accounts and drop the episodes for us, it doesn't feel like any other show. But I think there are elements like the way that they're ordered into different, into the way the Grisha are separated into different orders based on their skill sets. That feels a bit like that Hogwarts houses. Having a chosen one narrative in terms of Jesse feels like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or something, and then the Tsar punk, Slavic kind of aesthetic of it feels a bit like Anna Karenina or something like that in terms of even Jane Eyre, the way the relationships are together, or Ocean's 11 with the heists, or Peaky Blinders with Freddie's hair. It depends what you're looking for. Ketterdam, I know they describe Ketterdam like a kind of like Blade Runner, but kind of like period Industrial Revolution, and so it's got a lot of things to it that sort of like the texture of it is familiar, but I think the world itself feels kind of fresh and new.
Just to finish, I know you answered this maybe a gazillion times right now, but I need to ask, do you feel when you get into the city, the set of the city, and just seeing all this beautiful stuff that you created from the ground of your great imagination just come to life?
I've used words like excited, overwhelmed, but the other day, someone from Netflix sent me a video of that first day. They were actually recording me because they're everywhere. And I truly was just crying from the first minute I set foot there. I really couldn't believe it. I really couldn't take it all in, the scope of it, the how many people were working on this and working on it with so much passion and intensity. It was, I remember so clearly writing that first novel and having very humble hopes for it, just wanting to finish a book. I had never finished a book before, just finish it, just finish one book, and then who knows what will follow. And to remember sitting at that table, after a day of work, trying to find the energy to write, and then to see this brought to life made me just overwhelmingly happy, weepy, and just very grateful to everyone who made it happen, especially Eric.
It's amazing. Thank you for your answer. I really appreciate that. I know the feeling kind of. I just published a book last month.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you so much. But I know it's kind of a lonely work, and then you get this crazy journey ahead of you. It's amazing. I'm super happy for you.
Thank you. Happy for you too. I hope it goes wonderfully.
Guys, thank you so much. It was a blast to talk with you.
Thanks, Lucas.
Cheers, man.
You are a lovely family. You're a lovely family.
Thank you so much.
Just the very off the locks to this
thank you.
premiere in April.
Hi.
Hello.
We're rolling, Lucas.
Sorry, hi, how are you? I didn't knew I was already
No,
on
it's
the
all good,
air.
man.
That's all right.
Okay.
You're not the first. Don't worry.
What a way to kick ese interview. Ay, yo te juro que todavía no puedo creer cómo es que no me di cuenta que estábamos filmando. Nadie te había avisado, pero bueno, no importa. Espero que la hayan pasado muy bien en este especial de Sombra y Hueso. La serie ya está disponible. Quiero saber todos sus comentarios sobre la entrevista y sobre la serie. Mil disculpas si el inglés estuvo bastante trabado. Realmente estaba nervioso porque la entrevista iba a ser bastante días después, pero se adelantó todo, me agarró medio de imprevisto y estaba bastante nervioso. Pero bueno, la verdad es que la pasé súper bien y nada, solamente me queda agradecerles a ustedes por su tiempo y a Netflix, por supuesto, por haberme dado la oportunidad única de tener a todo el equipo para hablar de la serie. Yo me voy a ir, muchísimas gracias por llegar hasta el final de este video súper particular y nos vemos en el próximo, si vos querés. Chao.